Spellbound, Chapter 4. Some theaters have box seats that Jamie reserves for friends and investors. This one didn't, which meant mingling with masses. There are always a few extra seats in a sold-out show, and she managed to put us a pair together. The single beside Adam stayed empty until 5 minutes before the curtain, when a woman barreled down the aisle and into our row, not giving anyone a chance to stand and make more room. People come to Jamie's show for two reasons: entertainment and reassurance. In the latter case, they lost a loved one, and they're hoping for proof that their dearly departed still lives in some form, somewhere. So 95% of the audience is happy to be there. The laughter and excited whispers that night were so contagious, they even made me feel better. But part of the audience has been dragged in by a friend or spouse. Glance around and you can see them slouching in their seats, like sullen children in church, determined not to enjoy themselves, no matter how entertaining the show might be. The woman coming down the aisle had that same look on her face, but she was not alone, meaning no companion had forced her here. That could mean only one thing: she had been forced by an assignment. Local media, member of the theater board, consumer watchdog, any of the above fit. She was in her late 20s. Chanel jacket, Gucci shoes, Prada bag. None of it matched and none of it suited her. The choices of someone who knows labels out but not fashion. When the woman finally reached her seat, she double-checked the number. Then she noticed Adam sitting in the next seat beside hers, and she scowled, evaporated in a smile. "Is this D-22?" she asked him, though it was clearly engraved on the arm. "Looks like it," he said. She smiled wider. Then she turned and shrugged off her jacket, shaking her booty just a little too close to Adam's face. "It's going to be late when we get out of here," I said. "We should probably grab a hotel room for the night." The woman looked at me like she was really hoping I was some stranger, making conversation with her cute seatmate. Her gaze barely touched me before returning to Adam. "Have you been to one of these before?" she asked him, smiling. "Or, I should say, have you been dragged to one before?" She leaned over to look at me. "Little sister, I'm guessing." Adam bit back a laugh as I glowed. "Physically, there was no way we could be mistaken for siblings. No, she isn't. And I'm the one doing the dragging," he whispered conspiratorially. "I love this stuff." Her expression fluttered between dismay and denial. Finally, she gave him one last regretful look and fished a notepad and pen from her Prada bag. I took out my cell to text Jamie and warn her there was a reporter in the audience, one who definitely didn't seem inclined to give a fair assessment. Then the lights dimmed, and I swore. If the lights were out, she was backstage and cell phone free. Adam leaned over and whispered, "She can handle it." True, but that didn't mean I liked seeing it happen. Jamie didn't deserve that. Jamie Vegas was a con artist like every spiritualist I ever met. Unlike the others, though, she actually could talk to the dead. Yet, even if an audience member's father was right at Jamie's shoulder, telling her what to say, she'd usually make up the message. Why? Because that audience member doesn't want to hear Daddy give her shit for marrying that louse Bobby and letting him bulldoze Mommy's rose garden. She wants to hear that Daddy loves her very much and he misses her, but he's happy. So that's what Jamie tells her. On some level, it's true. He almost certainly does love her and is happy in the afterlife, but ghosts are still people, wrapped up in petty grievances and concerns. The theater went pitch black. Then, tiny lights flicked on, earning the inevitable ooh from the audience, as Jamie's recorded whisper talked about crossing the veil and reaching out to the other side. It reminded me of when I was 14 and Elena took me to Phantom of the Opera. Even as I rolled my eyes at the corny dialogue and over-the-top special effects, I had to admit it worked. The lights went up and a paired collective owl snaked down the aisles as Jamie appeared on the center aisle catwalk. Her golden brown dress shimmered as she walked in heels so high they even make me nervous. Her red hair was piled on her head, tendrils curling down. She had on her non-prescription glasses. If they were supposed to make her look less glamorous, they didn't work. Every guy who'd been dragged along by his wife now perked up and started thinking maybe this wouldn't be so bad after all. The reporter beside Adam snorted. Notice they don't bring the lights up full. At her age, she needs all the shadows she can get. I think she's hot, Adams said. Anyone can be hot if they can afford to get work done. I leaned over and dropped my gaze to her overinflated breasts. And anyone who can afford to get the work done right shouldn't. She scowled at me, then looked at Jamie. Sure, who, I should point out, had never had plastic surgery, but owes it all to good genes and hard work. Jamie launched into our show. It's typical spiritualism and chic. There's a ghost who is trying to break through. His name is, it starts with an R, Ronald Roger, no, Robert. I have a Robert. Is someone looking for a Robert? Going once, going twice. She always had a taker. Let's face it. What's the chance that among 500 people, no one knows a dead guy named Robert? Once Jamie has her mark, she spits out rapid fire, open-ended guess, and reads her target's body language until she can say with certainty that this is her target's nephew Robert, who died in a car accident 3 years ago. After that, Jamie moved on to a couple of Pacific audience members. Once her trusted staff had reported overhearing in a lobby, hoping to contact Aunt Frida or Cousin Al. Those were easy and satisfied most naysayers. Then she moved back to the guesswork. It's a woman this time, Jamie said. I'm not getting a name. She's having trouble communicating. I think it might be Joan or Jane or Jane. I can see her through. She's average height, dark hair, a few extra pounds. She stopped and hurried on. In all the right places, the audience tittered. The reporter beside me raised her hand, pumping the air, trying to get Jamie's attention. Plenty of others were waving madly, but Jamie knew where Adam and I were sitting. Seeing our seatmate jumping up and down, she started our way. I caught her gaze and shook my head. Jamie acted as if she hadn't noticed, but when she reached the end of the aisle, she stopped suddenly. She glanced over as if at the ghost and nodded at the reporter. She says, she's not for you. I'm sorry. Jamie started to turn away, then stopped again. Frowning, she slowly turned. Are you here hoping to contact someone? I am. The reporter shot to her feet. My friend Jan. She died last year. Cancer. Jamie's frown grew. Are you sure I'm not sensing a Jan? Who are you sensing? No one. There isn't anyone who wants to speak to. She cut herself off. I mean, no one wants to speak to you right now. I'm sure you have loved ones who do, though. A sympathetic smile. Somewhere. The reporter sank into her seat defeated. My visitor is still here, Jamie said to the room, and I thank her for her patience. I will find the person she came for. Perhaps she can help me locate. Tell me the truth, Jamie. The voice rang out from the middle of the crowd. Beside Adam, the reporter perked up. Jamie smiled. That's what I'm here for. To spread the truth that there is life after this, and we are all going. You know what I mean, Jamie O'Casey. Jamie didn't react to the use of her real name, but I craned my neck and scanned the audience. I can't see who it is, Adam whispered. Ushers and security appeared at every doorway. One lift of Jamie's hand and they came no further. Comfortable lies, Jamie, the male voice continued. You tell them comfortable lies. We all do. We hide in the shadows and we tell comfortable lies to them and to ourselves. Lies about what we are, lies about what we can do. Now, Jamie waved to the guards to start searching. The man made it easy by standing up. He was younger than I would have expected, probably not much older than me. Not a wild-eyed nutcase either. Just a regular guy, dark hair, average build, decent looking. Recognized him? Adam whispered. No, I've never. The man's gaze passed over mine and I felt a jolt that had me whispering a curse. He was a sorcerer. We recognized one another on sight. He felt the jolt too and his gaze swung back. He saw me this time and he froze. Then he blinked and his lips parted. The man in the row in front of him shifted, blocking our sight line, and the sorcerer practically dove across the seats to shove the man out of the way. He stared at me, an open-mouthed gap, as if he spotted a zebra in an audience. His lips formed my name. Adam tapped my arm to get my attention. You do recognize him? No, just that he's a sorcerer, but he seems to know me. I turned back. The man had looked away and others between us had shifted, so our sight line was blocked again. Why are you pandering to humans? Jamie O'Casey, the sorcerer called. The guard simultaneously reached each end of his aisle. You have power, he said. True power. Unbelievable power. You can't just speak to the dead. You can't just raise the dead. You have a direct line to the Almighty. There's an angel sitting on your shoulder. I don't think that's an angel, Jamie said. A swoosh of laughter from the audience, too loud and too long from the joke. Relief subsiding and nervous giggles and uncomfortable whispers. Get him out of here, someone shouted. He's holding up the show. Real audience members or Jamie's plants, either way, the cry spread, drowning him out. I think those guys are going to ask you to leave, Jamie said as the guards closed in on the man. I'm sorry, but folks here pay good money to see the show. In the hush that followed her words, the sorcerer shouted, The end is coming, the end is hiding, the end of pretending, the end of comfortable lies. He waved his hands over his head. Fog spread from his fingertips, swirling around him. The audience gasped. I shoved my way along the road to the aisle. Adam followed. The guards ran at the man. He hit them with a back knock. Then another fog spell cast over and over, the cloud spreading, covering his retreat. When the fog dissipated, the guy was gone, and Adam and I were standing in the outer aisle. Jamie saw us and nodded. Wow, she said, and I thought my special effects were good. Hey, Kat? Kat's voice came over the loudspeaker. Yes, ma'am. Next show? Dry ice, lots of it. The audience laughed nervously, grateful for the excuse. Did he say I could raise the dead? Jamie said. You know my mom used to say that too, every time I cranked up my stereo. More laughter, people settled into their seats. Adam and I glanced at each other, then headed for the door. A guard pulled it open for us. The end is coming. Jamie climbed onto the catwalk. Can't give him any points for individuality, can we? When that spate of laughter died, her voice dropped an octave. Some people believe that. I don't agree, but I know one thing. When our own end does come, we have nothing to fear, because there's an afterlife with our loved ones waiting for us. The guard eased the door shut behind us, muffling her voice as she steered the show back on track.